Governor Beshear, thank you for taking a few minutes. You've just come from the president's speech. You were in the room. Your impressions of what he had to say?
The president's speech was dangerous, disrespectful, and unhinged. The president spent an hour plus disrespecting our allies, calling them names, even doing fake voices for them in private conversations. He called some of our allies dumb to their face and specifically called out leaders who have been great friends to the United States of America. We are less safe when people believe that the United States isn't committed to the NATO alliance. We are less safe when we push Canada, one of our strongest partners, away from us and towards China. And then just the rambling and the random stories. Calling Greenland, which he believes is so important, Iceland, numerous times, it makes you wonder.
I imagine you've had some conversations with other world leaders that are here. What do they make of it all?
Not just here. I've gone through Helsinki to Stockholm to here, and the leaders in Europe are hurting. You know, the United States has been the leader of the free world, and now we're acting like the bully on the playground, saying that just because we can do something means we should do something. That's not the United States that they know. That's not the United States they've looked up to, and that's not the United States the world needs. We need to get back to being who we are, and I hope that the people of Europe, that our close allies, know that America is more than just our president. And the American people believe that Canada are our friends, doesn't want Greenland as a territory, and understands that our alliances with Europe has created world stability for my entire lifetime.
I was going to say, we did a poll in recent days that found 7 in 10 Americans opposed to the idea of spending any federal dollars to buy Greenland.
Yes.
And roughly the same amount opposed to the idea of using military force to take it. So the country, in essence, is against the president on this one.
Yes.
I guess as you go home and this issue continues to persist, what's the country to do to try to convince the president otherwise?
Well, first, we've got to speak out, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to show the rest of the world, especially the business community, because I'm here recruiting jobs, that most Americans disagree with this president when he disrespects their countries and calls into question these alliances. As I go home, I hope our Republican congressmen and women and senators will grow a spine again and will start doing their darn job, that they will stand up to a president who is going far beyond his regular powers, that is stepping in and taking authority from Congress, and they will put a stop to it. I mean, the idea that the congressional leadership, Republican leadership, hadn't said Greenland is an absolute no publicly means that they are not acting as a separate branch of government. They put their hand on a Bible, many of them. They pledged to uphold the Constitution, and they're not doing it. It's shameful.
When you talk to those that might want to do business in the Commonwealth or in the United States generally, what's their appetite for that right now?
Well, they start with reservations based on what we're seeing and based on tariff policy, because even if they're going to build a factory in the United States to avoid tariff policy, the cost of building it floats 30% on tariffs. By the way, the new study out saying Americans are paying 96% of all of Trump's tariffs just prove it's a tax on us. And in today's speech, he says the economy is great and he's fixed inflation. My families aren't feeling that. American families aren't feeling that. So think about how out of touch he was today on Americans' financial security and our overall security in the world. Americans are less safe today because of this speech. But to businesses, what I tell them is your relationship with a governor is a lot more important than your relationship with the president. Because as you're setting up your operations, as you're finding your site, as you're getting your utilities, as you need your permitting, that governor is going to be your partner through that time. And if you have the right governor, they'll stand up to any president if it's the right thing for your state.
How does a trip like this is your second time at Davos?
Second time at Davos.
How does a trip like this prepare you for a presidential campaign?
Well, I don't think anybody's there yet. Right now, I'm being the best governor I can be, trying to bring in as many jobs as I can. And I can meet in 2 days with dozens of businesses on multiple continents that would take 3 or 4 trips. But I'm also the head of the Democratic Governors Association. So what I'm focused on right now is to win as many of those races as possible. But it is good to hear directly from leaders, from presidents and prime ministers, to hear their view of the United States, but also to show them again, at this time of great uncertainty, when they are worried whether the United States will keep their word and continue this friendship, that, again, America's more than its president. The American people stands with Europe, the American people stand with Canada, and the American people don't think we ought to be taking Greenland.
How do you assess the various governor's races across the country at this point, given that we have a president who's not polling well, on issues he's not polling well? It's going to be difficult for his party, once again, to potentially go in and have to defend or explain what he's doing. Does that open up new opportunities for the Democratic Party?
It sure does.
Where?
We are going to win a lot in places people don't expect. You're going to see competitive races in Georgia and Nevada and Iowa, maybe even in Ohio. You're going to see us take it to them. And I loved when I heard the White House say that the president is going to get out on the campaign trail. What I'd say is bring it on. I want him in every state. We have a close election. I want him to tell the American people that the economy is fixed, that inflation is down. He'll say that affordability is a hoax over and over and over. Let him say that to struggling families. I look forward to it.
All right. Governor Beshear, thank you for taking the time. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.